Hello, athletes and fans of bodybuilding. I'm Lenda Murray, 8 times Ms. Olympia, and you are watching Olympia TV, where we bring you the best conversations among the top IFBB pros. All right. I've been looking forward to this conversation. Let me introduce my co-host, Wendy Fortino, 8 times qualified for the Ms. Olympia IFBB Figure Pro.
Yes.
And Adela Garcia, 8 times Ms. Olympia Fitness.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us for this amazing episode with our reigning Arnold Bikini International Champion, Vania Auguste.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just happy to be here. Like, this is an honor. Like, I'm really happy.
Well, we're honored to have you too. Congratulations.
Thank
oh my
you.
gosh.
We watched it and we're so excited. So for all of you that missed the action in Columbus, Wendy.
Oh yeah, let's just get right into it.
Let's get right into it.
I might cry again.
Oh wait.
Okay.
This is
okay to cry.
Okay, you're allowed.
Murfreesboro, Tennessee, your 2025
oh my gosh.
Arnold Classic Bikini International Champion, Vania Auguste.
Yes, ma'am. So proud of you, Vania.
I'm getting chills.
Look at your name. Big on the screen.
You know, I didn't even get to see that. I was just like in the moment, like crying and jumping.
Like, sometimes you probably think like, I don't want to let people know like how excited I am because it might make them feel bad. It's like, no, like this is your moment. Like they're going to be happy for you. And look, they are happy for her.
But this is even bigger than that because a lot of the time in bikini, you don't necessarily see black women in that top spot. So she is one of the first, if not the first at a big show to take that top spot. So she is representing for a larger purpose that is very important in this sport.
Absolutely.
That's a good point. I never really thought about that in bikini.
Yeah, most people don't.
Look at this moment.
So once we get those titles, it just
that was real, right?
Yeah, it was.
Your words, not mine.
Well, we saw it in figure. I saw that. I was just telling you earlier.
She still can't believe it. I mean, this is.
You're
I'm crying for you, girl. I'm sorry.
I don't want to cry again.
It's possible, you know, and it's great to see, you know, people from all different shapes, sizes, colors, creeds, you know, to be able to come here and compete at a very high level and be awarded first place.
That's right. Make your dreams come through.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw your face.
Yourself, right?
Like, she does.
A couple of occasions where you were like,
amazing.
This is real. And then when Arnold walked over, you were like,
I just love. Look at that.
Yeah.
It was
like, this is real. Like, and then he walked over, I'm like, no, this is really real. Like, I'm not dangerous.
It won't sit in for at least 24 hours.
As soon as we're done with all the hugs.
As soon as we're done with all the hugs.
It doesn't sit in for a very, very long time, especially with the way her inbox is about to be flooded. It's gonna flood.
Still right, it's gonna flood.
The price goes up for those sponsors.
That part, you hear what I'm saying?
Hey.
That's when the ashwagandha company.
That's
right. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, my heart.
Wow.
Absolutely gorgeous. And I think it's also a great look for bikini too to have, like we talked about, that skin texture.
All right, ladies, I'm going to have Vania stay right there, front and center by herself.
and you beat some heavy hitters.
Just perfection of not being
Vania,
too
I need
much
you to
of
hit a
anything.
front pose and a big I just won the Bikini International smile for your friends and family here tonight.
He's like, I can't stop smiling. What are you talking about? I don't need to be cute to smile right now. Just let it happen.
Vania, you've been racking up some W's in the IFBB Pro
You know,
League
at
these
that
last
moment,
2
I'm like,
years.
what am I going
But
to
tonight,
say? Oh my God.
You won the big one. You have the
I would
Bikini
think the same
International
thing.
title. How you feeling?
Is this real?
It's very, very real.
I am speechless. I can't believe this. I've prayed for this for the past 12 weeks. I've been praying about it. I've dreamed about it. I wanted to be the first African American to win this show.
Ooh, I gotta cry again.
And I did
I brought
it.
tissues.
I just want to tell everybody that you are enough. Just keep pushing, keep fighting for it. I want to thank God for just keeping me in the path, guiding me the whole time. I want to thank my coach, Kimoto. I don't know where you at. I love you. The Arnold Classic crew, thank you so much for this amazing production and giving us the opportunity to showcase our best physique. NPC News Online, IFBB Pro League, the judges, the fan. Thank you guys so much. I love this. We are making history. Oh my God.
And history is made here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more round of applause for your 2025 Bikini International Champion.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
So amazing.
Oh my gosh. So Vania, coming out of your tears in the moment, put us through that moment, and then we're going to kind of backtrack and kind of get a little bit more insight of you leading up to it, but just put us through that moment, what that felt like.
When they call Amy second place, it hit me. It was like, oh, like I'm the only person left in the top 4. And that's when, like, I have this beautiful picture of Stassi. I don't want to say her name wrong. She was one of the competitor, and this was my first time meeting her, so we got to hang out. And I just felt in her arm because it was just like, oh my God. You know, I just really wanted to melt in somebody's arm, and the ladies were there just to capture me. And I remember when they officially called my name, and I was jumping. No. Right before that, I started crying. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And she was just saying, you did it. And she pointed in the audience. She said, I have 2 kids watching you right now. Go get what's yours. And you can tell, like, on the side, I just like stood a little bit calm. And then they called my name, and that's when I lost it again. And I started jumping. And even just walking up, and just when Laura Lee gave me my flowers, I'm just like, this is really real, because at the beginning, before prejudging, she had made a comment because we were in the same makeup room. She said, I'll be handing you my trophy later on. I was like, okay. And then for it to happen, you know, I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. But when I was making the speech, I really didn't know what to say beside. I really wanted to say, thank you, God. I have been praying about this. I know I said 12 weeks, but if you talk to like any of my surrounding, like my clients, we have been talking about this for the past 2 years. Like, I'm going to keep going. I don't know if I'm going to be the first, but I will keep going until I get to the goal that I want. I wasn't planning on saying that out loud, that I'm the first African American. It just came out.
And that's awesome.
Oh, it just came out. And I remember like stepping on the like backstage. I told Phoebe, because she was back, she's like, I just said I'm the first African American to win the show on live TV. Like, I just said it out loud. They're like, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yes,
you know, like, I had no intention of saying it, but it just came out because it's something that I've been dreaming about. I wanted it. And a lot of people didn't notice that, or didn't realize I'd never been a Black female in that position at such a high level, or, you know, winning such a big show, you know, especially in bikini. In different division, yes, but not in bikini. So saying it out loud, a lot of people, you know, I've received a lot more positive versus negative. A lot of people are receiving it very well. They never realized that they've never been a Black female. And they just, I don't know, I just feel amazing. They make me feel motivated to keep going.
Yeah, I was proud of Sid during the commentating. She did an excellent job. And Phil Heath made the comment. I love what he said, because he said, I love her that she's being authentic and expressing her emotions. It was so genuine. It was so like the audience, everybody could feel it. And then Sid went on to say, well, let me explain to you, with the bikini division, she is the first to win a major title. I know Daraja Hill placed 3rd in the Olympia. And you remember, Wendy, we had her on Femme Flex Friday, right? So that was perfection.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. And, you know, I talked to Daraja. I told her also, like, you paved the way for me. Because when I remember when she made that first, I think at a point she had top 5 at Olympia. And then she went up the next year. But it was just seeing her there. That was just like, okay, I can do it. Like, even if I make it top 3 at the Olympia or at the Arnold, you know, I can make it because she paved the way for me. So thinking about it, dreaming about it, working for it, you know, praying about it, and then for it to happen when I didn't think it was happening was a miracle.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, we were talking to Lenda and Adela. They were, you know, we were talking about, you know, breaking barriers, you know, being a trailblazer, paving the path for future women. And it's a really powerful thing going into the goal that you have. Like, it's really powerful for you to really like wrap your head around, oh my gosh, if I win this, I will be the first African American to win the bikini title, or whatever the barrier that you're aiming to break. You kind of think about that and you imagine, like, how crazy is that? It's me. It's going to be me. So that was on your mind, that was on your heart. So it doesn't, you know, regardless of what you had planned out, my favorite speeches on those Olympia and Arnold stages are the ones that don't feel planned, because it's what's on your heart. It's what you've been like manifesting, and that's what comes out when you're like in the moment. And then if you do it right, you probably totally forget what you said until after you watch it back.
Yeah. And you know, twice I write a speech. I'm like, if I win the Arnold, I was like, and I'll just put my book down, like my journal. I'm like, if I win the Arnold, I'll just put my journal down and write something else. Even after prejudging, I remember just writing in my journal, just like, you know, being in my safe space, listening to my gospel and everything. And I just started writing, like, if I win the Arnold, this is what I'm gonna say. And I just stopped. It's like, you know what? I'm not gonna write anything. Just let's stay calm. Let's just let everything flow the way it's supposed to flow. And I didn't get to write a speech at all.
I love what you said to the audience and to the athletes out there. Just know that you are enough.
Yes. Yes, you are enough. Because enough. The beginning of this year when I was selected for the Arnold, one of my friends texted me. She said, let's go win the Arnold. And I said, I want to win so bad, but I'm afraid. And she said, well, we're going to do it even though you're afraid. I said, okay. And then ever since then, it was just like, okay, I think I want to do it. I want to win. I want to win. Say it out loud, you know, like, you know, afraid to set a goal and not be able to accomplish that goal. And then eventually I got over that fear and I said, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. If it happened this year, happened this year. And if it doesn't happen this year, I'm going to continue. Like, I'm not giving up, because I'm not ready to give up.
Yeah. Why would you think you were afraid?
I think I was afraid because I will be the first person to do it, you know, setting goals and not making it happen, because one of my goals was to win Arnold UK, and it happened. One of my goals was to be in the top 4 at Arnold last year, which was my first Arnold, and I placed 3rd. So all the goals that I set for myself, I was able to accomplish them. But that one was big. Yeah. That's like, you know, like, oh my God, like going from 3rd to 1st, that's still a big jump, you know. And then having that title also is a big privilege. So just saying that I want to win the title, it made me afraid a little bit. Like, can I handle this? Like, am I ready to handle this? Am I ready? Like, if I'm a winner, am I ready to be a leader to my audience?
Yes. Yeah. Well, by your speech, you were definitely a leader.
Yes.
I want to make this statement because I think when you look at all of our divisions that we have in the IFBB and the NPC, and you look at women's bodybuilding, women's physique, and fitness, the challenges, like all 6 divisions, it's a pageant, right? It's a pageant of muscle.
Yes.
It's really clear that it's a pageant of muscle when you look at women bodybuilders, when you look at women physique, when you look at fitness, you guys are athletic. So part of the reason, like with the conversation about you being the first African-American, bikini, it's really glamour. It's beauty from head to toe.
Yes.
A female bodybuilder, we could be, you know, not the most glamorous, not the best wigs, not the best skin.
He's keeping it real.
I'm just keeping it real. So this is the explanation of it, is that it's
it writes a lot on beauty.
It does. It absolutely does. So this is like a really monumental thing that just happened. You know?
Right. Yeah. Well, you're talking about beauty standards, you know, you're talking about, you know, we have like set beauty standards that we think are like everybody's supposed to accept. And then when you see somebody who like has a totally different look, pave the, you know, be the look of beauty, you're changing people's perceptions of what beauty is supposed to look like. And now we have a new direction. And that's what makes it the trailblazer moment that it truly is, you know?
Yeah.
I love that.
A lot of the time, I think we underestimate the power of our mind, you know, and how you have to manifest something that you want so bad. You know, whenever I saw you win, I was messaging with Linda and I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. Even Wendy, and I said, this is incredible because there's so many things that goes on into this win. And I'm thinking about the same thing. You're the first African-American to win the Bikini International. And I was, even when I messaged you, I'm like, wow, I wanted to tell you so much because I felt the same way whenever I was prepping for the Arnold in 2004. That was a long time ago. You probably weren't even born then, but you know.
I wasn't in bodybuilding yet, but I was.
Wow. You know, I was like, I remember prepping for that show, and I was like you. I was afraid because I used to get a lot of hit, like, oh, you know, she's not as glamorous as the other girls, you know, she's this, and you know, I had to work on all that. So manifesting what you want is like so important for athletes to know that you can never underestimate the power of just dreaming about that. You eat it, you train, everything that you do just evolve around that. You see yourself winning the Arnold, you see him walking in and like it's finally happened. Like it's incredible. So I want you to tell athletes like how important that is when you want to win something so bad, how you just immerse yourself into that to make it happen.
Faith is important. You know, having faith is another thing. Like having faith is important. Faith in yourself. The people around you, that plays a big role in your faith, right? Because you also want to have people, you believe in yourself. Like I do believe in myself, but there are moments of doubt. Like you ladies said, when I look at myself, I know I'm different. You know, I don't, I'm going to say it. I don't have implants, right? I am more on the muscular side of bikini, you know, like even with low carbs, my muscle pop like crazy. You know, I'm a little bit different. I don't have a big social media followers, you know, but I try to invest as much as I can in my community. And that's it. I just try to stay true to myself because there are moments where I look at the other girls, you know, and I'm like, man, maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to get bigger boobs. Maybe I need to keep posting more and get more followers and all that stuff. You know, like start doubting yourself. So you need, you're okay, you're enough. And then you need to rely on your faith that you can do it and just keep asking whatever that you believe in. Because I don't want to make this about like religion and stuff. Like
whatever you want to
you want to keep asking God to grow that faith, because especially in moments of doubt, you want to lean on to that faith. Like, I can do it. This is going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen now. And you got to be patient because it can happen today and it might happen 5 years later. But like faith and being patient, it just goes together.
Being patient, that's very important.
Yes.
You don't have to filter yourself at all here because we are here to let you have a platform to share however you have come to your success. This is your story, and whatever that story entails is, we don't want anything filtered from that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I mean, thank you guys. I did not think you guys were gonna bring that point up, but I remember one time somebody was just making a preview about a show. It was the Olympia, and they made this comment, and they said, even at it was the current Olympian winner, and they said, even at the current Olympian winner, at her worst, I would not beat her.
Ah.
And it was just like, oh wow, you know, like, you know, when you hear stuff like that, you're like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because you basically said that even if that person came up off, like, condition is off, watery, and have the chance to beat them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And as a competitor that you know you give 100% to build yourself up, to hear that, it would definitely put you in a dark, not a dark space, but it definitely makes you have self-doubt about yourself. Like, can I do this? Am I good enough? Do I need to change things?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. I understand completely. I do. Yeah.
There's a lot of commentators that don't need to be commentating out there.
Yeah. And you know what? I think as we evolve in this industry, and you start out as a competitor, and like for us right now with Wendy and Adela, we're in media, and
that's awesome.
You learn, right, and you make adjustments. And I remember when I first started commentating, and I was sitting with Sean Ray, and I was busy looking at every single athlete because I wanted to, and he was like, just wait for the call outs, the first call out and the second call out, because you're not going to even talk about that person in the third call. And I was like, oh, okay. And so when you in that position, you have to operate from that place. And so, I mean, talking about this bikini last Arnold, I mean, I'm looking at you, and I've seen you many times on stage, and I was just like, I love her physique. And then someone that was really good in bikini made the comment that you were a little bit more on the muscular side. And I was like, really? And you just said it. So, you know, I'm learning. but when I said, just looking at you, I thought, she looks amazing. You know, all three of you, the top three, look amazing. I know we have a video of that.
Yeah, wow.
Oh yeah. I turned the music off so we can watch and not
Barbie dolls.
But
you know, because we all commentated, and Amy Delgado, she was the one. She placed second last year. She's a heavy hitter. She had won the New York Pro twice.
Pittsburgh Pro twice.
So as a commentator, and you look and watch what who she calls out first, how she moves you guys around, and she was exchanging places. And I'm like, wow. And so I said, Vania, I mean, that's who I would go with.
I think that Camille had made this like statement, but I remember talking about this to you ladies, and I think Camille was in our conversation too. But we were talking about how this is the era for the physiques like Amy and Vania, because they are more muscular in the bikini world, but they're not like super muscular. It's just like you just have more of a pop to your body, you know. It's like if you stood next to one of the figure girls, you would like get swallowed whole. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it pops a little bit more. But now that the new fit model division has been added, it's almost like we're kind of expecting to see the bikini girls kind of maybe be expected to be a little bit more muscular. And it's kind of the era for those more bubbly, poppy physiques. You and Amy are the two that kind of stand out to me when I think about that kind of like new era. And it's so beautiful. It still looks so soft and so feminine. It's like just perfect. It's like Lenda said, it's just right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you think after this, after prejudging and the way she positioned you, put you in the middle, and what did Kim tell you?
Oh my God. So we knew we were a top three. We just didn't know. We had an idea, maybe top 2, just looking at the pictures, looking at the back pose, just comparing with the other ladies. But after prejudging, after I woke up from my nap, we had to work on my back leg because I was putting on a lot of pressure on my toes. And if you look at my legs, it's pretty like you can see the line.
You can see, big time.
And it was like that first thing, like getting off stage, it was like, okay, we need to fix that going into final. Like if they were to look at me in comparison to the other girls and said, you know, I was too muscular or too lean, it would have been because of that single leg, that back leg. So after prejudging, after I woke up from my nap, we just went to work. We hit and make sure that every time I hit it, I was relaxing the back leg, which was like pretty quick to adapt, you know, because you've been doing that for so long. And then all of a sudden you have to almost like not even put my toes on the floor. So my legs wouldn't flex like that. Yeah.
Linda, tell her what I said to you on that text message that I sent. I keep going on. I said she has the Lenda Murray genetic freak. It's that skin, that soft skin. Like, give me some. I need some of that. Oh, beautiful. It's beautiful.
I mean, I have bubbly muscle, like shoulder wise also. Like shoulder, I haven't trained shoulder. Leading onto the show, I didn't train shoulder for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look, I'm done.
You know, Kim, you know, there was one time, I think it was Olympia 2023, I decided to pump shoulder backstage. And, you know, like when you're backstage, you're talking to your friend, you're talking to your athlete. I'm the type of athlete, if I'm backstage, I want to have a good time. Like, I'm not serious. I'm not too focused. I just want to have a good time. And I had a resistant band in my hand. And then the whole time, thank you. The whole time, I'm just like talking to the ladies and I'm just going like this with the band nonstop. By the time I got on stage, my shoulder was so pumped and striated. It was just like, oh my God. And, you know, like I hit my front pose and you know how like you trying to read the judges' like lips, like what are they saying? And I can tell at that time, like, Adela and Sandy was pointing at me. I was like, oh my God, I hope they're not talking about my shoulder. I hope they're not talking about my shoulder.
Manifesting, girl, manifesting.
I went to do my routine and I tried to be so relaxed. I just relax. I placed 12th that year. And then when I got my feedback, it was immediately your shoulders are like, oh, like your shoulders was too conditioned. I'm like, oh. You know, but it's like one of those things that we had to learn. And now we know like 2 weeks prior to show, like we don't need to train shoulders anymore.
Nice. So this is you in 2023 Olympia. Those are some shoulders.
Yes. And I was definitely leaner and more conditioned.
You seem a little bit bigger too.
Yes.
You look a little bit more like wellness here.
Yeah.
Not close. Maybe in that front pose, maybe a little bit. Wellness like will swallow
you can
me.
See her glutes from the front.
Yeah, girl, you can see your glutes.
I can just see what you're talking about. Those shoulders are definitely pumped.
Yeah, they were extremely pumped. Yeah.
So what do you weigh? What was your weight on stage?
So I think we were like 110 on stage. Yeah.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
Oh, that's perfect.
5'2.5". Don't forget the 0.5.
You're a little one.
5.25 for me.
Oh, yes. Do it for that girl.
You guys are both taller than me. I'm 5 feet even.
Oh, yes.
With the shoulder pads, you get a little bit taller.
Yeah, you pose so tall, Wendy. Like every time I see you, like on social media, like you just like even like you know your stage pictures. Yeah, you do not look that short.
I'm in denial about it for sure. Yeah. I go on stage and I'm like I'm tall. I am freaking tall.
Me too.
You guys can't tell me nothing. I am tall.
Talking about height, you know, like another thing, there has not been like a petite short that won that title. That is another thing too. Like when you look at bikini, you know, sometimes we think. Not sometimes. It's been an era where they favor like more of a tall physique, you know. because most of the girls that's usually in the top 5 are tall, but lately you can tell like the height is a little bit different, you know.
Because Laura Lee, she's
tall.
I know she's taller than me. I feel like she's taller than me.
She's really tall.
Yeah. This was the first call out at prejudging in the morning. So okay, so this is your 5th Olympia qualification, right?
Yes.
And you actually already qualified for 25 Olympia by winning, you said Brazil?
Yes.
In 24. So, and I was thinking about this because being Ms. Olympia 8 times, and you know Adela, but Adela, what you guys do also, that routine is so important, your performance. And, you know, people would always talk about who was coming up. You know, you're the current Olympia champion. I'm sitting out, I'm going to shows, I'm watching, I'm listening to who's coming up. It's like now you're a player. Now us as commentators, like you've proven it. You've won the Arnold Bikini International. And when there's someone that's out there, they can have a wonderful physique, but if they're not in that first call or being compared to me, then you see that physique, right? But if you don't get next to Sid Gillen, if you don't get next to Adela Garcia, if you don't get next to Laura Lee Chapatos, and you're not in that first, you can have a great physique. So now you're a player.
Now you're in the game. Now she's in the game.
Now we expect to see you.
Yeah.
That is.
How does that feel?
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
It feels amazing, like a lot of pressure, because just like when I earned my pro card, just like leading on, like trying to climb the ladder, I just always remember saying, just put me next to the top pro. I want to be compared next to the top pro. And then now I'm like, I'm the top pro. I'm sure like other people are saying, put me next to Vania. I want to be compared. That's an amazing feeling. But I always remember like any show that I did where like Laura Lee was there, Jennifer Dory was there. I remember Jennifer Dory did Nashville Fit Show in 2022 2021 because I won in 2022. She did it in 2021. And the whole time I was getting ready for Nashville show, I'm like, I just want to be compared with Jennifer Dory. I just want to be compared. And I got 3rd. She won the show. Crystal Bolino got 2nd and I got 3rd, but I was very happy to be in that mix with the top ladies. And now to be in that position, it feels amazing. A lot of pressure, but it does feel amazing to get there.
Yes.
You ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's the big time. You just want to get compared. Like me, it was like, I want to get next to Susie Curry. Like I just want to be next to her. And once I was next to her, I'm like, okay, something is happening now.
Yes.
Things are moving.
Yeah. There's a shift taking place.
Yeah. I mean, my first time, I competed with Ashley Kay one time, and it was my first time probably getting I would say it was my first time, 2021. It was my first time getting the first call out, and I got 2nd place to Ashley Kay.
Wow.
You know how that felt that day. I remember after prejudging, because Sandy was like, Ashley and Vania step to the side. And, you know, when she said step to the side, it's like, okay, that's top 2. I was in my head. I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, I just got compared to Ashley Kay. I'm like in the top 2 with Ashley Kay. 2nd place to Ashley Kay. And I really think that was like the jump start of my career. Because after that, since then, I've always been in the top 5.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. Because that was the question. Like, at what point during your career did you start to feel that?
Yeah.
And so you said it's when you were being compared, and you
actually.
Yeah. Because I've watched you. You're moving up, and I was like, okay, all right.
you like to know that from the top ladies, because you know what it's like to have a lot of pressure on your shoulders. And I And I do notice that seems to be your burning question. You always want to know, and I do too, but I've never been in that shoes. You've been in that position. Adela's been in that position, being the top in the world. And so it is interesting to want to know like how you feel with that pressure, because it's a lot. And I think people go into like the Olympia and the Arnold, they want to be number one. But like to Lenda's point, I don't think people totally wrap their head around what type of responsibility that is and what kind of weight it holds. It's not just a title. If you treat it like it's just a title, you're really like the reigning Miss Bikini International. It is just like a pageant, like all year long, you're holding that title until you go to defend it again, right?
Right.
And while you're holding that title, you're the face and the energy and the personality and the ambassador behind that division and the industry. And it's a lot, but you are gonna, you're gonna see what you're made of during that reigning period.
Yep, you're right, because it's all of a sudden a lot of people in your ear. Everybody, they want to be your coach. They want to tell you how to do this. People at your gym that they told you where they thought you would place, or they, etc. You need to change divisions. It's all crazy.
Yeah.
You've been through this before, Lenda. It's like you've been through it or something.
Yes.
I know, right?
Oh, it really is.
How did you deal with all that pressure?
Yeah, something that's really that stands out in my mind. When I won my first Miss Olympia in 1990, prior to that, Corey Everson, she had won 6 Miss Olympias and she retired in 89. So in 1990, it was a situation where the reigning champion, she was gone and it was up for grabs.
Yeah.
And so when I actually won, it was challenging because during that time, it was about being in the magazine, being on the cover, getting sponsorship. And it was challenging. It was challenging for Joe Weider and the owner of the magazines, because he had not been in a position where he had to consider putting an African-American on the cover and all of that. So what I had to do, because I think my friends, the close friends, people that know me, it's just my circle got a little bit smaller. I still kept the friends on the outside because I had people that said to me, and this was my real first challenge, you should be on the cover. And I would hear that second year, third year, why have you not been on the cover? And for me, and this is where I say to all of the athletes out there, like, you just have to try to stay in alignment with who you are and the reason why. Why am I competing? I love to compete. I love competing. It wasn't about me being on the cover. It's not about Corey Everson is Corey Everson. She's beautiful. I love her. She was just like a role model for me and still is. But I'm Lenda Murray. I'm 5'5". She's 5'9". She's blonde. I'm brunette. It was different physiques. I had to listen and hear a lot of stuff. So you have to be prepared to not make it complicated. Keep it simple, just like it was before. People are going to have opinions. It doesn't matter. Stay focused, because those little bitty things will throw you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed you back then, Lenda, because I needed to hear this. I didn't take it that well.
Yes.
That was great advice. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, because everybody's got opinions. Even us, we have opinions. We have to, and it's like, does it really matter? Like, stay focused on your close friends and people that know. And even in that case, at the end of the day, as a champion, you have to also be able to not get caught up in everything, and still be able to listen to Kim Odo and still make the decisions that you need to make as an athlete. Because at the end of the day, you're walking out on that stage.
Yes.
So I really thought that I didn't know Kim was your coach, because all the girls. So I'm thinking that she is part of what's the other Amy? and all the other
Fit
girls.
Body Fusion.
Yeah, Fit Body Fusion. I'm sorry, so because all the girls are super excited and everybody I just feel like the bikini girls are a little bit more connected to each other. Just the way that I see them treat each other all the time, and even other coaches, they are so protective of all the girls. That's when we kind of were doing a prediction, and we didn't pronounce your name right, so it was a little bit like we felt so bad. We're just trying to do this, so it was just kind of nice to see that all the girls they were so happy for you, and just it's just awesome.
You're the second person that said that. Somebody else said, I thought all of you guys were on the same team because of how happy they were for me on stage.
Yeah.
But it was like 3 different coaches because it was Fit Body Fusion, Kimoto, Cash, and James. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the community stuff that you do.
So I'm a posing coach also. I do a lot of posing with my client, but something that I do every year, which I haven't done this year, is posing workshop. I do one every year. And my first year that I did it was in 2021. I think it was 2020. I was nervous because it was my first workshop. And I'm like, who's going to come to my workshop? And I had 22 girls sign up. Wow. I was so shocked. Yeah, it was my first workshop. Ever since then, I have one every year. I make sure that I give away tons of stuff to the ladies. So when they walk away, not only that they walk away with knowledge, they walk away with like new friendship, new connection, but they also walk away with things that can help them on stage, like jewelry, shoes, a suit, posing suit, or even half a price of a suit, a competition suit. They also get like meal plan if they want like a free pass to the gym that we use. So I try to do all of that. And I go to all posing workshop. If there's a posing workshop in the area that Tennessee's having and I can make it, I'm going. If there's one in Atlanta and I can make it, I'm going. Like I've been to one in Texas.
One of mine, and you supported me before you won. I was like,
yes.
So she's telling the truth.
Yes, I love posing. I do coaching also, but if I had to pick between coaching and posing, I will pick posing 100%. I used to be a dancer, so like that's like my heart right there.
I wanted to ask you that because your posting is so beautiful, and a lot of the girls, especially the new girls that are coming to competing into bikini, I try to help some of the girls sometimes, and the posting is so important. Like, I mean, it's like you can have the best physique, but if you don't know how to display those lines in the perfect way, it's like you're not gonna do anything on stage. Tell us about that, like being a dancer and the posing, how that evolved for you.
Well, being a dancer definitely helped because I danced when I was little, all the way till I was probably 26 when I started bodybuilding. But I love dancing. I minored in dancing when I was in college. The only reason why I didn't major in dancing was because they didn't have it as a major. But I dance, I perform all the time. I was on stage all the time. So when I found bodybuilding and then I found out that you have to pose on stage, it was a different way to perform. But the performance was different because it's not dancing, right? I used to do traditional African dance, hip hop, and a little bit of ballet. It's still different type of style. But when I learned my posing the first time, I was very hip with it, like very sass. I mean, I'm still sassy with my routine now. But there was a lot of
It's beautiful.
And then eventually I just kept learning more. I remember watching Angelica, just watching her style of posing. I would watch other girls and see how they pose, the tempo of the transition. And I started practicing it. I'm like, okay, this is dancing, but it's a different tempo for me. So I just kept practicing over and over till I found my style. I added my own little spin and I was like, this is it. This is what I'm going to stick with. And I'm just going to keep perfecting that routine.
Yeah, you're smooth.
Yeah, she's like walking in air. I love it. Beautiful.
Thank you. So every time I go on stage, I always tell myself, this is not a routine. You're about to perform. Think about your dancing days when you used to dance and how much joy you brought. And people used to be like, oh my God, you're such a great dancer. Like, that's the impression I want to leave. Like, when I'm done posing, I want other people to say, wow, how can I pose like you? Or can we see more? Come back and do it again.
I'm trying to find some dance. Like, is there any dancing clips of you on your Instagram?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No?
Yeah. It's like probably when I was in college, like 2018, like way back. Yeah.
That's not that far back, girl.
Okay, you guys keep talking. I'm going to search YouTube.
Like, the 2018, I'm like, oh, wow. Nice spot. So you were also a high school teacher. Is that correct?
I was.
You were? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not anymore. 2023 was my last year teaching. 2022 leading on to 2023 was, I would say that's when my career in bodybuilding started picking up more. I started getting more client with posing, and my schedule was way too tight. I mean, my routine was so tight. I didn't have time for my family. Waking up, going like 5 a.m., go do fasted cardio, come back, get ready for work. And then once I was, I will have my shake in my hand. I would drink on my way to work. And then I get to work and it was like, okay, you're a teacher now. You're not a bodybuilder. Don't think like that. And I get to work. I'll teach, drink my water a certain way. I had to time the way I drink my water because, you know, you can't just go use the restroom the way you want to. Everything is time.
Wow.
Unless a teacher want to watch your class, but you can't always keep asking the teacher next door to watch your class because you have to use the restroom. So I remember I will start drinking my water when the class was about to end. I will start drinking more. So when it will end, I'm like, okay, I'll go pee. I can like sip a little bit and I'll drink more all the way at the end. Like, it was like a schedule. And then right after work, I would change and go straight to the gym.
Yeah.
And I would train. Sometime I have to train and then pause my training to pose client. I'll have like 2 clients on Monday. I'll have 1 client on Tuesday. And then after I pose my client, if I have to do cardio, my post-workout cardio, I do my cardio, then go home. And if I didn't have enough food, I had to meal prep and then repeat the next day. And repeat and repeat. And my weekend was booked because most of the girls wanted to book on weekend. And during the week, I didn't have the hours because I could only work. Well, if I did, when I offered posing, it was always from 4 to 6 p.m. I couldn't work during the morning. I couldn't work during the day because I was at work. So on the weekend, I was booked from like 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. just posing client. And during that time, I remember just praying to God, like, can I make this transition? Can I take this leap of faith? Because I am leaving this stable job, insurance, you know, like, this is my routine. And then jumping into posing and coaching full time and just dedicating, like, just going full out with this passion that I have. And I did it. 2023, I told my principal that this is going to be, well, at first I said I would do it part-time. And then I prayed about it. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I need to go all out. And I took the leap of faith. And ever since then, I've been doing this.
This has been such a great conversation.
I know, right?
Somebody said you're a superhero. Who said that?
Thank you.
She is a superhero. You know, Vania or Vania? I want to make sure I get it right.
Vania.
Okay, I'm not going to get it wrong again. I promise.
Okay. You can say V. A lot of people call me V.
Okay. So this all makes me wonder. You talk about your dance background, you know, going and becoming a teacher. What exactly was your childhood like? You other than dance, is there anything else athletic that you did? That's what I want to know.
So my dad was a soccer coach. And then my mom, she just played soccer because of my dad, and she loved dancing. So the dancing came from my mom's side, and the athletic background came from my dad's side. So growing up, me and my sister, we play soccer constantly. Like, we'll go to where they practice with the boys. We'll try to practice with the boys. They'll make fun of us because, you know, they're like, you girls, you can't play soccer. And we always try to like show them, like, we'll show you. So I grew up playing a lot of soccer. I grew up in Haiti, so I was born here. And then my mom decided to take us back home. She wanted us to know our culture. So right when I was like 6 months, she's like, we're going back to Haiti. And we stayed in Haiti till I was 13 years old.
Wow.
13 or 14.
So you speak French as well. Do you speak French also?
I do speak French, but I need to touch up on my French a little bit.
Can you say anything to us? Something that, you know.
Oui, je peux parler en français.
Oh,
Je m'appelle Vania Auguste et j'ai 33 ans.
I understand. She said, my name is, I know je m'appelle is name. My name, I am, right? Yeah.
I'm 33 years old.
Oh, okay. I saw where
wait.
Derek said
you look a lot younger than that.
33. That's a year. You know that's the year I won my first Arnold and my first Olympia. 33.
Okay.
Girl.
Oh, that's a magic.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just dropping the mic.
All the energy. I'll take it.
So 33. How long have you been in? You're in Tennessee now.
Yes, I am.
So is that where your parents moved to? You moved to Tennessee?
So we moved to Brooklyn, New York. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. So we moved back to Brooklyn, New York. I lived with my aunt at the time because my mom was still in Haiti. And then I think around 2012, she finally came to America, and then we were living together. But I moved to Tennessee because my best friend moved to Tennessee, and I used to come and visit all the time. And I just remember when I came to Tennessee, it kind of gave me this flashback, this nostalgic sense of Haiti, because it was so open. It was so green. It was so country. I was like, I think I like this place. And it was a lot cheaper than Brooklyn, way cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
And it was different, like different. It was very much different from Brooklyn to Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah. When I saw that you live in Tennessee, because when we were texting and I said, because when you agreed to do my show in the workshop, then I just assumed that you lived in Georgia. I knew you were somewhere in the South. So I thought, like, wow, you're in Tennessee. So how is that being, because it's not the place where people mostly think of like athletes being. They always think of them being in New York or LA or
Texas is like a big one too. So when I first moved down here, the bodybuilding community was very small. But I did found like a small community. It was like pretty small. It wasn't that big. And I remember doing a show in 2016, because that's when I moved down here. The show was very small. I won all my class, but it was different because I remember being at the gym and people thought they just thought I was an athlete. They didn't know I was a bodybuilder. They always thought, you run track? That's what I always get. Do you run track? And I'm like, no. And I will even be afraid to say I was a competitor. I would say, no, I'm a dancer all the time. I was like, no, I'm a dancer. Until I found the fitness community. I started doing my research, and I found out that there was a couple of pros. There are shows in Tennessee. I signed up for a show in Tennessee. And then ever since then, I've been part of the community. It's getting bigger. It's not the same as 2016. And we also have Brendan Curry here in Murfreesboro, in my hometown. So we definitely bring a lot more people to Tennessee. We have a lot of big gyms. So I think it's growing now.
Oh, wow.
You're creating it, it sounds like.
I think the community is. I want more people to come. Yes.
You're part of the movement.
Well, it's outstanding. So we're coming close to our hour to wrap this up. And I love when we have the opportunity. I just knew that this conversation was going to be so good. Like, I didn't even have to do a lot of, right, ladies? Like,
no, it was just simple.
Yeah. So much inspiration for all those out there, because a lot of women, they're in your shoes. They always think like they want that title, and you made it happen.
It's possible. Have faith, be patient, believe, just believe, and keep doing the work. Keep doing the work. You know, it's kind of hard sometimes when everybody around you succeeds so fast and you're kind of left behind, but don't let that affect you. Just keep pushing.
Just keep pushing. Let's keep pushing. So we're going to end that. And from my co-host, Wendy Fortino, Adela Garcia, and to all of you, thank you for joining us with Vania Auguste.
Thank you.
Vania.
Thank you for having me, ladies.
Thank you, Vania. Thank you.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen,